Coca-Cola, brothers and sisters. Welcome to AquaBrain TV. On this show, we chat snow skating with Stuart Herrin and his daughter Charlotte. Coming to us from Mount Hood, Oregon. You can find Stuart at Hood Snow SK8ER on Instagram. That's Hood Snow SK8ER on Instagram. Hey, Stuart, Charlotte, thanks for joining me.
You're welcome. It's nice seeing you today.
So where you guys at?
We are in Rhododendron on Mount Hood.
Oh, that's close. So you guys live there year round?
We do.
Right. Right on, right on. Well, so you got quite the quiver. Tell me a little bit about your quiver.
Well, got 4 or 5 Libtex, a Ralston. I've got 2. Oh, you gonna go grab one? She's got her new grassroots she wants to show off because she just got a 120 slasher, and I've got my 140. Haven't used those yet, and yeah, she's got this little thing she's trying to show off.
Oh, look at that. God, Jeremy does such a great job. Look at that.
Yeah, hand signed and everything too, you know, like
look at that.
his name on there, and actually hand writes the serial number on it. These things are beautiful, but all the snow's melted, so we haven't been able to use it.
Yeah. So we're so yeah, I should say, well, since we're just starting right off the show. So this is going to air in February. So if you're watching this, it's February, but we're actually recording this the last day of November. And yeah, we got some warm weather systems that basically came through and they're setting us back here for the start of the year.
Yeah, we had 7 inches of rain in 3 days. So the 14 inches of snow we had is gone. But then we got another 20 inches, but now we're down to 8 inches. But I think they're kind of lying a little bit because it's more dirt than it is snow right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, hey, you know, by the time you're watching this, there's snow to be had, and we're having a good season. So, oh, all right. So let's talk. So I've got a few notes here that I made, and some I thought was really interesting was your well, I want to talk about your quiver. So, but while your daughter's here, let's talk about how she got into it and what she's up to.
So how'd you get into snow skating, baby?
Well, it's you. You're the one that took us up on the mountain and had me do that. So it was you that had me go snow skating.
Oh, it was me. It's all my fault.
Well, my fault is something you would say when it's like means and it's kind of a good thing.
It's a good thing I got you up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
Sketching comes.
Yeah, it scares me sometimes too, though. That's why I do it, because it's fast and it's fun. If it didn't scare me a little bit, I want to get the adrenaline. I want to be that fun.
It is scared because you don't want to fall with me.
No, I don't want to fall with you, but we don't
So
fall that much.
So are you riding the lifts and everything?
Yeah. Just ride the lift, and we've taken all the way up the top of Palmer and ridden down to Government Camp, and there's 3 different runs: the Glade, Pine, and Westlake Road that I've taken her down. And
Wow.
when you do that, it's 4,583 feet of vertical drop that we end up getting, which Timberline is now going to try to work on getting a gondola all the way down to the bottom of that to make it the longest run in North America, or not North America, in the United States.
Wow.
So right now it's half inbounds, half out of bounds when we do it, but we'll ride down into town and we'll go hang out at some friends, and then we'll either catch a bus or get a ride up with a friend and go back and get back on the lift. But usually by that point in time, it's like an end of the day thing that we end up going and doing.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. So that's exciting. Do you like it, or? what are your thoughts about snow skating?
Oh, right now.
No, go ahead. Tell what you think.
It's pretty fun. I get scared most of the time, but it's pretty fun.
Yeah. Well, it's good that your dad's there, huh? To encourage you.
Sometimes I do it alone, but we
Whoa.
haven't in a while. Usually when we do it, I'm just between his legs, but
Cool. So what kind of a setup? What do you have her on?
What we're riding on is the Lib 48 with the pre-dog top deck most of the time.
For her.
okay.
For her, she's got a Lib 39. Oh, but then she's telling me she's got a Soul Monkey Surf that we got from Chris Carroll, old pro snowboarder from back in the day. He had the first snowboard camp on Mountain Hood. So he's one of those old legends, but he hooked us up with the board. She really likes riding on that one when she's going solo herself.
Nice.
And that's more like a Premier, but it's still got a channel down the center of it. So it still gives you the rocker as you're on a bideck almost. And we took that up a month ago or so when we had a little bit of snow, and she was riding around on that by herself. And she seemed to like that a lot too. But she's also got a little.
Well, I was going to say that's probably a little bit more fun at her size, right? Because you really do need weight.
Before too, you know, like when we get down towards the flats, I'll let her hop on it and I'll just run along beside her, and she understands the heel to toe. But when it's on steep, you know, she's having trouble getting that foot on the front bolts and squashing that bug and staying forward and kind of gets back. When it's on the flat, she's, you know, she can at least understands how the edge works. But even when we're up top, you know, she can go side to side on that little Soul Monkey, which is cool because she's definitely seemed to be enjoying it. Yeah, it's an Arrowhead.
Yeah, so Soul Monkey Surf. So explain that to me a little bit.
Go grab it, baby. Go grab it.
Okay.
So she's gonna grab it. It'll make it a little easier.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so imagine a Premier, but instead down the center, it's got a channel piece that rises out, so that way it's almost got a ski on it, but it doesn't the way the board's shaped, so it gets a little bit, you know, the board can still play from side to side, and then there's actually rails that come off of the edge down it, and it's pretty fun. It's a good one to mess around with.
This is it's kind of like a new thing to add to the collection of different builders and stuff that I've encountered along the way. I haven't heard of the Soul Monkey.
We've got a couple videos online of us using them from 4 years ago, maybe, but I think he had them being sold through the house. Oh no, CCS. He had them on there. I'll go grab it. She can't get it.
Oh, all right. So it's almost like a different kind of powder surf looking thing, but you can ride that on the mountain, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Got attachment for leash on it. So, you know, that seems to be the main draw is got to have a leash.
Yeah. Wow.
Got a little bit of kick, but yeah, you see what I meant by the rail here down the center. Yeah. And then even the edges are popped up. So, you know, you still get your rocker and it kind of grabs on a little bit.
Fascinating.
Definitely looks better in slushy or fresh. Ice isn't that great, but
yeah,
it's real fun to mess around on. And then, yeah, but she really seems to enjoy riding on that. So that's definitely, you know, she says that is her board. It's not mine. It is hers. And we've got to go with us.
Oh man, yeah, you got to take the whole quiver with you, huh? Is that the Solomon?
This big one?
Yeah.
No, this is a pre-dog Tanuki. And yes, that one's a swallowtail.
Yeah, look at that. What?
42. And I got that from Jim Spears from Pre-Dog 10 years ago. And this thing was a pretty fun board.
When did you get that hole in the middle thing?
Oh yeah, I custom the tail out.
Oh, that was
enough. So I cut it up another 5 inches.
okay.
But here's the Solomon.
Yeah. Okay. So is that new or is that old or?
No, dude, this was made like 2000, somewhere from 2001 to 3.
Oh wow. Okay.
And you know, it's an actual Solomon. You know, this die cut they did here, none of it's peeled out. Like, this is an amazing piece of art. I love writing this thing.
Yeah.
Because if I'm busting it out, it means it's deep. And even like 3 to 6 works fine. Anything deeper, it's the best thing that you'll ever write in your life.
Wow. Fantastic.
I love writing powder, and she wants you to see the Superman sticker I got on.
There it is. Look at that.
Blood.
Yeah. Pre-Dog, you know, Pre-Dog made some pretty cool stuff, Jim.
Yeah.
I would love to get him on to chat with him about, you know, like.
Yeah, so you got Pre-Dog trucks on there, Pre-Dog leash, Pre-Dog trucks. You got Pre-Dogs on that one. All my leashes with Pre-Dogs other than on my Outlaw, which I think that's a Hovland.
Yeah, so talk to me about Outlaw. What's Outlaw Snowskate?
Kid Clayton Conway. Up on. Grab it real quick. I guess should have had these out here to start with, huh?
Yeah.
So yeah, the Outlaw. You see if we can see it very well. So he's been making his own custom decks in his backyard with his own press, and you know, he sees
Yeah.
And so, you know, he paints these all by himself, but he's been mounting up to just skis. So like, this is an Icelandic on here. I have it used, and he's got a pretty cool grip job that he cut and pieced this whole thing together. So, you know, he's got his logo on there and the hell out of it.
That looks like a lot of work.
Yeah, definitely a lot of work. I saw that, I was like, because, you know, I usually like to ride the extreme grip or tundra grip, but I was like, I'm not putting that over this, because he definitely spent a lot of time putting this together. I figured
That's awesome.
Kind of rude since he sent this out to me for me and my kiddo to try, and she says this is her board also. So
really, that's try turning that thing at 6.
I don't think it's gonna be too hard. The ski's pretty narrow, you know. It's not super thick in comparison to, you know, like.
Yeah, that's the way that's the way it is like all the new gear that I've gotten is all going to my daughter, so it's like I get the hand-me-downs. Like, you can see my daughter's 48 ATV back there.
Oh, that's hers.
Yeah.
This is my ATV.
Well, yeah, you gotta have, man. It's I don't know, but I love that. I love that ski. That's like one of my favorite skids.
So yeah, here's my kid's board, 38 or 39, I think it is.
Yeah.
So, you know, she's got full lib, but she told me she wanted a board that was exactly the same as mine. And so I bought this for her 2 months before her birthday.
Okay.
And the day after I bought it, she wakes up and says, "Daddy, I had a dream that you got me a board with the octopus Medusa lady." The octopus Medusa crab lady. And she hadn't seen it.
Oh, really?
She had no idea I'd actually got it, you know, but she had a dream about it the day after I got it for her. And so I still had to, you know, one of those where I like to give stuff away the second I get it, but I had to wait for those 2 months. And, you know, she said she wanted the exact same board. So, I've got her some custom rockers on here. They're like the new mid-lows, the Alan Gerlach's ones. But then I got her the same rails that I have on mine, because same colored purple rails, both checkerboard decks. Mine being a pre-dog, but she's full lip deck. I found her another pre-dog leash because Jim sold all of his stuff to the guys that swamped him. So I
he did. All right.
Yeah, and I called them up and I ordered two. Like, I said, "Can I get 2 leashes off you?" And they're like, "Yeah," and they're the last 2. So I bought the last 2 pre-dog leashes.
It's awesome.
So I literally put my daughter together the same exact board. Same trucks, same board, but she's got the good old Live Tech top deck. But I love this pre-dog top deck too, because this thing's pretty light and he made a really good gear.
So what's your opinion of that new 48 ATV?
It's amazing. That's all I really ride now. Because I was usually riding this 48.
Yeah.
Or 45. Yeah. This was usually my go around, get around everything board. Like I took this in cat skiing and rode it all day in 2 feet of snow, no issues.
Right.
It was out.
You were in the back seat a lot, weren't you?
A bit, but not too bad. It was out at Anthony Lakes. My friend won one of those Facebook things from, I think it was Next Adventure, and he's like, I thought it was fake, but I entered it and
won it.
Yeah, he's like, I won it, and I realized that it's for 2 people, and you're the only person I could think of that I'd want to bring that wouldn't ruin my trip. So do you want to go cat skiing? I was like, yeah. And I call up the resort and I ask them if I could snow skate, and they're like, I guess. Like, sure. I show up with this. I brought a snowboard just in case, and I brought the Tanuki, the pre-dog swallowtail. But the way the snow was, it was fine just riding this most of the time. And first run, I'm following the patroller guy, our patroller / guide. Yeah. And he stops at the very bottom and I'm right behind him, like 6 inches. He turns around and jumps. Like, I wasn't expecting anyone to be down here, especially you. Like, I thought you would have been at the top still.
Yeah.
And I was right behind him, scared the hell out of him. And there was nothing out there that I couldn't manage to get down on this, no problem. Awesome. I used my board once on the last day. Like, they take us up to this top ridge and like, okay, you see down there to the left, that's where the ski resort is. And so you can ride back there. And I'm like, what's on the right-hand side of this ridge? He's like, oh, a bunch of really steep chutes. It's like, cool, I'm going that way. He says, well, be careful because it's deep in there. And so I rode the snowboard down through it. And I really wanted to go back and grab the Tanuki because it was, it was in the shadows, so it was really good, cool snow back there. But I didn't want to hike back up that extra 1,000 vert to go get it, so I went to check out the resort because first time out there. And like the one patroller in the morning says, yeah, I've seen one person here snow skating, and that guy clearly should have probably just stayed in his backyard, and you're gonna bring it up here on the snowcat? I was like, yeah.
It's awesome. So how did you get into snow skating originally? Like, what's your kind of history?
So when I was a kid, I always wanted to snowboard, but when I was, probably 6 or 7, back in the day when, kids could leave the house and go to the park until the street lights turned on.
Yeah.
I had an old Jimmy Z skateboard that I put wax on the bottom, and I would just turn around because, it didn't have noses back then. And I would ride that skateboard down the hills and just use that. And then like 3rd grade, got some plastics, black snow snowboard, and broke that thing really quick trying to do butters. And then I didn't get it on an actual made snow skate until 98. And I was living in Big Sky and had a friend who had one of those old Premiers. And so I used to just mess around with that when I'd get done, out front of the mountain lodge where I lived there in Big Sky. So something to mess around with. And then was it 2005? I was moved up to government camp on Mount Hood, and my friend Matt Clune was like, here, I got this Premier. He's like, or not the Premier, he gave me one of the Burton prototypes. So before the junkyard, and I had one of those. And so whenever I'd get done riding for the day, most of my days I'd spend riding one foot so I could do big air walks and shit over the jump because it was a lot more fun. But then I'd go to the backyard jibs that were set up and I'd just mess around on the skates. And then after, well, it was 2010 when I finally got a lib tech, found one in Spokane after I'd moved back from Australia and Alaska. And I was messing around in Alaska a bunch too. You know, I'd use my snow skate to ride to work and, you know, middle of the night or day because it's dark.
Yeah.
Either way. And I'd mess around with it up there. But then, yeah, I got the lib tech and moved back here to Hood. And, well, I guess my first resort I rode on was Mount Spokane, where I actually put on, you know, I forgot I had an Aperture. One of those little cheap Zoomies ones that are like $50.
Oh yeah.
And my mom gave me $50 one day for my birthday, and she works in the mall, Northtown Mall in Spokane. So I saw Zoomies had one of those, like, oh sweet, got that board. Went up to Spokane the next day and was like, this is amazing. Even though that board, I think the skate deck on it's 28 inches and the skis 27, so it's really easy to manual, but it was such a blast. And then I found this lib tech that was you know, in a ski shop that end of season, so you know, instead of the 400 it was supposed to be, it was like 280, so put it on layaway through the summer. And then first snow, took it up to ride, and like, okay. And that's when I started, you know, looking into other trucks and stuff. Started talking to Jim from Pre-Dog, and
Yeah.
they got Pre-Dog trucks on there, and I needed leashes too, and got a bunch of board scrapers and boards off of them over the years. And so since like 2010, I've snowboarded a little bit. Most of it has been riding other snowboards, because I used to ride with a company called Board Insiders. And so it was like the Goodwood snowboard testing, but we were Board Insiders instead. So for most of the spring, I would get to go out and ride snowboards and test out different boards. And then so I'd get to do that, so check out all this new stuff. But the second we were done, you know, it'd be like right back onto the skate.
Yeah.
Fun.
That's awesome, man.
Did the rat race. It's like a event thrown on by Drink Water, where, you know, it's pro invite only. You know, Danny Davis, Mark McMorris, Terry, and all them show up to do this bank slalom, and I got asked to skate in it. So me and Danny Sheehan from Ralston were the first to get a skate in this contest. And
nice.
I went to the finish line. I don't even know what my time was. I was just excited that I got a race against a bunch of people that, you know, I've lived my whole life, and that's a pretty good time.
Yeah. So how did you first meet Jim?
Bryce Rich from Boyd Hill sent me his direction.
Okay.
Well, living in Spokane, I was trying to find a leash, and so I called one shop. I can't even remember the name. I think it was like Local 77 or something. Some shop in Spokane that's no longer gone, but they gave me Bryce's number. So I started talking with Bryce, and then so he'd give me Jim's number, because, you know, it was back before I had internet and all that stuff. So I started chatting back and forth with him, and it was, started ordering stuff off of Jim, and, you know, so it was a long time of getting his stuff from him, and plus the libs, because I like lib techs. They're really good.
Yeah, I know. That's what I ride.
Yeah.
Don't tell anyone. Hey, you know what? The Squampton guys, those guys are freaking awesome. Like I can't wait to finally skate with them eventually, hopefully at some point. And then Bryce, you know, they're good people too.
I've met them 30, 40 different times, but it's usually in the parking lot, because when I was working at Timberline, I didn't get a ride.
Ah, man.
They don't work there. So, you know, like I'd be walking to my car and I'd see all my snow skater friends that I'd met up through Facebook and all that. So I'd go hang out with them for a little bit before I'd go home and see her. But so now that I don't work there, I actually could go to contests, and I could go hang out with these people on the hill that is my backyard, that I had 5 years working there, that I didn't get to go up there that much.
I know that's the, you know, I was a lift op, I've done that a few different years, and it's awesome, but it's so much better just to have a pass and go and ride. I'm like on like shoveling on deep mornings as opposed to waiting in lift line and getting the first, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's a
man.
lot better. But I was, I had 6 years. When I first started working at ski resorts, I was operating snowcats, so my shovel was amazing.
Oh,
I had
nice.
the
Yeah.
job a lot easier. And that was in Big Sky in Mount Spokane. But then, I worked at Outback Steakhouse for a long time, so it had a lot of cooking experience too. So when I went to Timberline, I started cooking. Well, like when I was at Outback Steakhouse, my kitchen manager kept telling me, as he was training me to be a manager, saying, "You need to quit. You need to quit. Leave." He's like, "You're great at this. I'm not telling you need to quit because you suck." It's like, "You're great at this, but it's going to take your life from you and steal snowboarding. Like, you need to quit and go to." So I did that for a long time, but then I came back and worked at Mount Hood Meadows for 2 winters, and then moved to Australia. But when all these moving around I did, it was like, no, I want to go back to Hood. Got back to Hood, and it's like, well, I'm tired of looking for a job every 6 months, and because that's the problem with operating snowcats, that usually only get it and 6 months out of the year, but you can groom here like 9 or 10, but I wasn't able to get on. And so I went into the kitchen and then went management, and second you go management, bye winter.
Right. So is that what you were doing in Australia and Alaska? Were you grooming or what?
No, in Alaska, I was working at a place called Humpy's Ale House, and one of the biggest bars up there in Anchorage, and it's got 140 some odd beers on tap, so it turned into a lot more drinking than riding. I did have Alaska, and so I'd go ride there, ride Hatcher's Pass and turn to get armed, do a bunch of backcountry stuff, because with riding Big Sky, after riding there, not much scares you because the place is really steep.
Is it good? Like I've heard of it. I was in Bozeman for a little bit, not too long, actually, really not long enough. Like right in the fall, and then kind of I didn't see winter yet, and then I was out of there. But so tell me about Big Sky. They were cool with the snow skates.
I never snow skated Big Sky. I was operating, or I was doing the snowcat snowmaking, but also I was just snowboarding back then. And
okay,
so they had been cooled and they weren't for a while. Jim had them on the pre-dog list of resorts that allow snow skates, and then he got a cease and desist to take off. But then again,
that's crazy.
But then again, recently people have been making it out there again, and they're okay with it just as long as you have a leash.
And I think that's really it, right? And also, don't be a jerk. I think that helps too. So let's see. So pre-dog, and there was something else. Events. So tell me about, because I know when I initially made contact with you, you said something about some local events that you guys participated in.
So they did Holy Bowly this year up at Timberline, and the main weekend it was only the pros allowed in there, but then once they cleared out, it was okay for they left the course up for us for a week and a half, 2 weeks. So me and her go out there and rally that course. I got one run through it without between my legs. So for the most part, it would just me and her rallying this gnarly, amazing course. It was amazing. It was so fun. Bowls, hips, trannies every which way. And then a couple months later, or I guess probably a month later, they did It's Tits, the boarding for breast cancer event. And that's a donation entry. So $20 each day. And so we did that the first 2 days, and then through the school week, we ended up going and riding it too. And the lady that was running it, I showed her a video of me and her riding, and she's like, "Can you take this camera and go do some runs? I work for GoPro, and it's, boarding for breast cancer. Still haven't seen any of the footage." She said that it should be out for, Christmas commercials. or something. So
Oh, crazy, dude. That's awesome.
me and her going through with the camera that I haven't seen the footage. So I'm really looking forward to hopefully seeing that sometime.
Well, yeah, hopefully we've seen it already, right?
No, I haven't seen any of it.
Well, no, I mean, if it's February, right? If you're
Oh,
watching
yeah,
this,
yeah,
hopefully
yeah.
we've
Hopefully.
seen it.
But as of right now, I haven't seen anything with us in it.
Yeah. So what's
But I know-
so what are the goals for this winter? Are you planning on going to any of the I know you talked about potentially going to some events. Are you planning on going to any of the snow skate events this
Oh yeah,
winter?
the Olympics. I plan on making it to. Out at Hurricane Ridge. Guaranteed, going to go out there. That was a first time actually getting to go out there last year because not working at a ski resort, so I could actually go.
Oh, you went out there last year.
Yeah, that was amazing. Such a good time. We did first day, did just a bunch, the lifts were closed, which, it's got 2 rope toes and a palma.
Yeah.
So Friday, it's not open, lifts aren't open, but Saturday, Sunday, they run the lifts. So got up there Friday and rode the backside a bunch of times. Then they have an old LMC snowcat they use to, push a double trench, and we hand shaped that thing into a double half pipe. I built a huge hip in the center, which most of the big bangers were going off of. And, I didn't do too hot on that one, but because I was tired from all the hiking from the day before, real time of riding last season. Because, with the whole COVID, I decided it was better to stay home. And then come springtime, once things started to letten up a little bit, I got my spring pass for Timberline. And then it's like, oh, well, was told, show up, I could get a lift ticket for it, and just had to pay entry fee.
Cool.
So I went out there and did that. And
yeah,
then also did,
Frank Crippen puts on a heck of an event.
it is.
It's definitely worth going to.
Yeah, he definitely puts on an event, and the prizes at that event were pretty spectacular.
Oh yeah. Did you walk away with anything?
No.
No.
I walked away with being happy that I got to hang out with a bunch of my skater friends, that I actually got to see him more than just in the parking lot when I was leaving Timberline.
Awesome.
So yeah, we were supposed to do a timed race, but with Hurricane Ridge, once they get winds over, I think they said 20 miles an hour, it'll blow the road over in, I think it said 40 minutes. Is all it takes. So, it turns into a hurricane up there, more or less, so they shut it down.
Oh, geez.
So we did a backcountry race too, one of those kamikaze downhills. Brandon tells us, go through this gully and eventually you get to the bottom, and, we won't have anyone at the finish line, but go, and it's going to be, you say who it was. I think it went Adrian was first, then Alan Gerlach, and I'm not sure from there on out, but
yeah,
we're all just hauling down, like open start of the face. There's a little bit of wind crust, or not wind crust, sun crust. I turn and just eat it. And Adam Cooper almost clocks into me, like jumps and flies over. It's a bunch of chaos. So on the way through, I see these woods up higher. I was like, oh, maybe I'll just stick in the woods because it was nice and soft and fluffy. And I figured it would either turn into a good shortcut or an amazing run. And it just ended up being an amazing run.
Yeah.
But
that's awesome. We
also went out and did the Serpentine Massacre out at Hyack, and that was a really good time too.
Yeah, I was scheduled to do that, and I showed up and then found out it was like a couple weekends later, and so I hey, I don't know. I just went and rode, a couple days, had a couple days at Snoqualmie. That was my home mountain before I moved here to Boise, so I know it pretty well, and can always have a lot of fun out there. Did you get a chance?
Open out there yet?
I'm sorry, where?
Are you open out there yet?
We did. So they opened for. So they blow snow now at Bogus. They got a pretty good setup, and they were able to open for a few days around Thanksgiving, and it's all blown snow.
Okay.
They're closed right now, but end of November they've closed. They did their their holiday week or whatever, and now we're just waiting on snow. So
Yeah.
hopefully it's coming. It's forecasted, so we'll see. But we'll be riding before too long.
I'm hoping for it. It's been a lot of rain.
Yeah. I don't know. It was like back to back to back or something. I don't know what they call them, but weather systems that just were warm, and who knows?
Atmospheric river is what they're calling it.
Oh yeah, something crazy like that.
Yeah, we had the one, and we just had another one, and they're expecting 2 more to hit.
Okay.
And, last night when I was driving home with her, it was 55 degrees, and it's dark out.
Yeah, it's
during the day, it was getting up into 60s.
Yeah,
that's down the hill, because I'm down at about 2,000 vert, and even up at 6,000 where timberline is, rain.
Now, were you when they were doing the US Snowskate Open? I think that's what they called it. It was like 4th of July weekend. Were you up there for that?
I did one of them. I believe they did 3 in total, and I think I got the one in the middle of the 3 years that they did it.
Okay, yeah, I made it to the first one, and then amazing. That was, I mean, I know the first one was amazing. I bet the second one was probably even better. That was really nice of Wendell to do that, and it'd be nice if he got a hankering to do it again.
He doesn't have say on what goes on in the lanes anymore. It's
gotcha.
Timberline, so
it's Timberline.
Yeah, so I was trying to get an event to do a celebration of life for Andy Wolf from Premier Snow Skates, because he passed away.
Oh, rest in peace, Andy. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, he passed away a couple months back. I think it's been 5-6 months back now, but
wow,
we've been talking, we're going to start doing some riding, but so he'd passed and want to do something for him, and then talk with Tim, but it's one of those, have to talk to Timberline, and
they just didn't. They weren't into it.
Yeah, but then like I was talking with Kurt Heine and Chris Carroll, and just nothing really seemed to be able to fall through. So
yeah,
maybe we can do something later on for him, but definitely.
Well, you did a lot, Andy. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So on a lighter note, what is your opinion of the current state of snow skating?
Oh, we're going there. Snow skating is amazing. Now this long ski board skate with sky coupe BS, no. Put some extreme grip on, put a nose and tail. You don't need a funny helmet. Go fast, but oh, well, you should talk a little bit. You've been quiet.
Well, that's because you are the one that needs to be talking.
You can talk to you. What do you think about snow skating right now?
Fine.
That's it. No.
What are you looking forward to this season, Charlotte?
I don't know.
You looking forward to riding some deep powder on your new board?
I'm looking forward to it snowing at our house.
Yeah.
When it snows down here, because we try, we get a bunch of snow and build it, but there's a motel down the street called the Snow Line. Well, we're not at the Snow Line no more. Snow Line's way up the mountain. It's not the same as it used to be.
Weird. So
we don't see it down here too much, but when we do, I go out there and I start trying to pile up snow as fast as I can, so that way it gives us something to mess around with.
Yeah, that's about what I do here. We don't get a lot in.
I don't even think she was a year old before I put her, but held her and was riding her out on snow skates with her.
Wow. So do you
Yeah,
have her when you guys are out on the mountain, do you have her between your legs, or or is she on her own thing, or how's that?
Both.
both, but for the hiking, she's been riding by herself, and I'm making her drag her own board up so that way she can build the strength. But
Yeah.
when we're out on hill and it's open, she stands between my legs.
Okay.
Haven't figured out how to ride off with her yet, but with everything being high speed quads, I just wrap my arm around her and we run off. You know, our lifties up here do such a great job taking care of the ramp. It's not like you got to worry about, busting your
Eating
boot
it.
through or anything. Oh, it's not the eat. I'm more worried about damaging the ramp. With the snow skate,
Running off.
we're not attached. We can get out of the way a lot faster than a skier or snowboarder because we're in our normal form. We can roll out of the way. We can stand up and run really quick. So
True.
all these resorts that are scared of us, getting up there and being foot traffic and being in the way.
Come on.
Yeah, I tried riding skee bowl, got up the lift, and I rode off the lift, before I was taking her up there, and the girl it's like, come over here. So, perfectly ride up, stop right in front of her, and I stand on the board for a good minute before I step off to show that I'm in complete total control. She says, yeah, you can't ride that here. And I was like, why is that? Well, because you're considered foot traffic because you can't ride off the lift. I say, what do you mean I can't ride off the lift? You just watched me ride off the lift. Well, you're considered foot traffic and you can't ride off the lift, but you just watched me ride off. Yeah. No, but you're foot traffic. You just watched me ride. So went back and forth like that. So I ran over to the other side of the mountain, hopped on another lift, and I had an old school snowboard leash and just wrapped around my foot, hopped on. The kid's like, you don't have a binding on? I was like, yeah, I do. And I lift my foot up, and but then I noticed she's on her snowmobile looking for me. So I hopped back down, disappeared.
So she must have been, was she a supervisor or something? Like what?
Yeah.
Why was she looking for you?
See, and I think there's like, don't they call those Karens?
Yeah, she's definitely a Karen.
It's like,
Karen Randy.
I'm not doing anything that's going to hurt anybody. It's like, just leave it alone, lady. It might not be technically something that, it may fall under something, right? Like foot traffic, right?
But they used to have a fleet of snow bikes they would rent, but I couldn't snow skate there. Like, snow bikes are a lot more dangerous.
Man, when I see those, I mean, there's a couple guys up here at Bogus that ride those, and it's like, I just look at it and I think, and it's probably the same ignorance that people look at the snow skater with, right? It's like, I would never want to do that. That looks so hard. It looks so dangerous, but I really would not want to do that. Doesn't seem fun to me. Like, I just know that I would ass over tea kettle and it would just not be good. But
yeah, I like standing sideways. I don't like standing forward. Being on.
True.
I've used the snow bike a couple times when I lived in Big Sky. Some guy came up there one year, and it was pre-season, so I was working on the gondola before they shut it down for the end of mountain biking. And guys like, here, I've got a snow bike. You guys can have it. And so we would leave it underneath the gondola cart, and we'd take it out and ride it once the snow started falling. But it wasn't very fun. Like my friend Micah, who's a really good mountain biker, he loved it.
Yeah.
I did not. It wasn't fun. I felt like I was on skis, and it turned like
with less control
snowmobile. One of those, it's like you're constantly floored and you got to turn the wrong way every time you go anywhere.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun.
If you want to go left, you got to go right. You want to go right, you got to go left. You're kicking it out. But it's one thing when you actually have throttle that's making you do it, but when it's just gravity.
Yeah.
Well,
cool. Hey, so I got some bonus questions. You want to do bonus questions? All right. And we can you guys can each answer if you want, or she doesn't have to. She's not into. Are you into bonus? She doesn't look like she's into bonus questions.
You can answer too. You can answer too.
These might be a little bit over. Well, who knows? Well, I'll try here. All right. What is a skill that you want to learn but haven't yet?
Front flips.
Front flips.
I
On a
could
snow
do 'em
skate.
into the- yeah, I could do them into the foam pit at Wendell's, and Christ stairs. I used to climb up at Timberline over the 65-foot tabletops, and I could make it over the tabletops. But most of the time when I get by the landing, I get scared, throw the board, try running it out.
Oh, geez. Yeah. All right. So if you were living in a tribe community, what would you offer the tribe?
Fish, court jester, crabbing, because like this one, she loves to catch crab. So I guess that would have to be coastal. Good at waxing boards.
All right. So what are some key components that you would expect other members of the tribe to contribute? Maybe like the top 3.
It is over now. It's over.
Well, hold on. So sorry. If you were living in a tribe, what would you want someone to be able to help you do? You don't know? Well, I definitely need someone to make clothes, someone with good shelter, which I can help with that. And food. You need weapons so you can catch yourself some deer and elk.
All right.
You gotta eat
Okay.
meat.
All right. I know she's done, but I got one more for you if you're ready.
Oh yeah.
Okay. If the system that we're all dependent on collapses tomorrow, what is the first thing that you're going to do?
Same thing I always do. Love life and enjoy it and be glad that they're not stealing my tax money so they can bomb children overseas. So probably a little celebration of go play in the snow like I normally do, because that's how I celebrate everything.
Nice. All right, Stuart. Hey, thanks for coming on AquaBrain.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us on this installment of AquaBrain TV. Check us out at Brain Aqua. Say subscribe to us, and this is a video we think you'll like.